So good morning. I am Dave, the man who has just sued Cassandra Ventura for damages involved in the Sean Combs sex trafficking trial. And I'm looking through social media and I see a lot of the women out there, particularly black women like myself, who choose to victim shame me and try to do everything they can to discredit me, because the truth is that the loss of the Sean Combs trial was a loss to the Me Too movement and to hating women like the women who are trying to insult me. So let me tell you something, you women out there who would like to insult me. This is my story. I was paid by Cassie, Cassandra Ventura, for 8 years to be her male provider. I didn't have to be the best looking guy. I was the best in bed. And because I was the best in bed, guess what? I was given this arrangement. I was coerced. I was drugged. I was manipulated with promises of money and gifts for over a period of 8 years to continue to be this woman's provider at her expense and at the expense of Diddy.
Diddy legal saga seemed like it couldn't get any darker. Another lawsuit has exploded into the headlines. A man has stepped forward, not quietly, not anonymously, claiming he was drugged, manipulated, and sex trafficked for years by none other than Cassie Ventura and Sean Diddy Combs. And the allegations, more shocking than anything we've heard so far. Tonight, we're breaking down the lawsuit that Cassie is actively being sued for right now, the claims that forced a federal judge to step in, and why this could become the most unexpected twist in the entire Diddy scandal.
Every woman who wants to go into my DM and you want to tell me why Cassie was a victim, stay the hell out of my DM. Because baby girl, let me tell you something. Hashtag you wasn't there. You can't tell me about Cassie's victimhood when you weren't even there and you've never even met the woman.
The lawsuit currently shaking the internet was filed by a man named Clayton Howard, who says he also went by the name Dave. Howard isn't just pointing fingers. He's accusing both Cassie Ventura and Diddy of years-long abuse that allegedly began around 2009. According to Howard, he was not a willing participant in the lifestyle he says Cassie and Diddy forced him into. He claims he was drugged, emotionally manipulated, and pushed into encounters designed to serve what he describes as the couple's sexual fetishes. These allegations are not tied to Cassie's fence Diddy, the one she settled within 24 hours for $20 million. This is separate, ongoing, and directly aimed at her. Howard's lawsuit reads like something out of a Hollywood thriller, except he insists it was his real life. 1. Claims of drugging and manipulation. Howard alleges he was routinely given substances that altered his ability to consent, making him easier to control. He says this behavior continued for years, trapping him in a cycle he didn't know how to escape. 2. Claims of being sex trafficked. One of the most serious accusations is that Cassie and Diddy used him as a male escort, forcing him into sexual encounters he did not fully consent to, while benefiting from the situation. He claims he was not only coerced, but that they engineered scenarios to keep him dependent and silent. 3. Forced unprotected sex. Howard alleges that Cassie specifically forced him to have unprotected sex, which he says ultimately resulted in him contracting an STD. This detail has been one of the most viral and controversial aspects of the lawsuit. 4. Alleged secret pregnancy plus abortion. One of the most shocking claims, Howard says that Cassie became pregnant by him, and he believes she allegedly aborted the child without his knowledge or consent. This is the part of the lawsuit that has left both Cassie's supporters and critics stunned. He claims he learned about the alleged abortion only later, and that it added to the emotional trauma he is suing for.
So today, audience, Cassie was finally served with the lawsuit against her. A lot of women out there believe that Cassie's a victim, and you believe Cassie's a victim because of the domestic violence she faced. Again, like I've said in a lot of different interviews, domestic violence is horrible and no woman deserves to be abused. But Cassie was not abused to be in no sexual encounters, people. That is a factual lie that was manipulated by the U.S. Attorney's Office.
Howard is not just accusing, he is asking for compensation. According to the filings, he wants payment for physical injuries, psychological trauma, medical expenses, lost wages, pain, and suffering. This is a civil case, not a criminal one, meaning he is seeking financial accountability rather than jail time.
Quick. So Clayton Howard is the sex worker who is trying to catch up with Cassie to serve her this lawsuit. He's been saying he's been having issues. Now he's suing Cassie because he's alleging that Cassie was pregnant with his baby after he was brought into the freak offs and aborted it without telling him, and then continued to have unprotected sex with him. He also alleges that Cassie gave him an STD. Damn! He alleges that he was manipulated into taking ecstasy, unprotected sex, and that he was ordered to do things like masturbate. Can I say that?
Yes.
Oh,
absolutely.
For hours on end, resulting in tears, skin peeling, and scabbing to his private part.
Jesus.
Yeah, so he's suing for physical injury, lost wages, medical expenses, pain and suffering, emotional distress, and loss of enjoyment of life. And the issue has been trying to serve Cassie or her attorney. So now he's been granted by a judge, figure out alternative means to get it done.
Here's where the story takes another wild turn. Howard's legal team says they couldn't get Cassie to accept the lawsuit papers. They attempted multiple times to serve her directly, but were unsuccessful. Because of this, a federal judge had to step in. The judge granted permission for Cassie to be served through alternate means. What does that mean? They can now email her lawyers or even contact them digitally in ways normally not allowed. This only happens when the court acknowledges that a defendant might be difficult to reach or unwilling to respond traditionally. The fact that a judge approved this has added even more attention to the case. Here's where the story takes another wild turn. As of right now, Cassie and her legal team have not publicly commented on this lawsuit. There have been no interviews, no statements, no clarifications, no acknowledgments of Howard's claims, and importantly, no criminal charges related to these allegations have been filed against her. This silence has sparked a wave of speculation online. Some argue Cassie might be preparing a legal response behind the scenes. Others believe she may try to get the case dismissed. For now, everything is quiet, but legally, she's been served.
Now, at the time, legally, I didn't know my rights as well as I do now. I didn't create this conflict with Cassandra Ventura. She created it with me. She's the one who decided to bring up things that happened over 10 to 15 years ago to hold Sean Combs accountable for what was a partial truth. She's the person who introduced me to the U.S. Attorney's Office. She's the person who told the U.S. Attorney's Office about our relationship. So in essence, those out there who want to hate on me, who want to say that I'm attacking Cassie, you should realize the truth, that Cassandra Ventura, your idol, did this to herself.
This situation has become extremely divisive for a few reasons. One, Cassie is widely seen as a victim, not an aggressor. After her explosive allegations against Diddy, the public largely rallied behind her. That's why seeing her accused in a trafficking lawsuit has shocked many. 2, the timeline overlaps with her own claims of abuse. Howard alleges this started around 2009, the same time frame Cassie says she was under Diddy's control. This has created an online debate. Was she a victim, a participant, or both? 3, the claims are graphic and deeply personal: STD transmission, forced unprotected sex, secret abortion, drugging. These are allegations that trigger strong reactions no matter what side people fall on. 4, adds fuel to the ongoing Diddy investigations. Diddy is currently under immense legal pressure from multiple directions: civil cases, federal investigations, and past allegations resurfacing. Howard's lawsuit adds another layer, focusing not just on Diddy, but now implicating Cassie directly.
Cassie lied, people, and I'm not going to sit back anymore and pretend like this is not what it is. Many people hate Sean Combs because of the horrible things he has done to a lot of people. Audience, I am not a fan of Diddy. He has done horrible things to people. But I am a supporter of those who may have been set up and maliciously prosecuted.
Since Cassie has now been successfully served through alternate methods, the clock is ticking. Here's what we can expect. 1, Cassie will be required to respond. Her legal team must either file an answer, request more time, file a motion to dismiss. 2, the court will decide whether the case moves forward. If it isn't dismissed early, both sides will enter discovery, where evidence, documents, and testimony are exchanged. 3, settlement is always possible. Given Cassie's previous settlement with Diddy in 2023, many observers believe this case might settle quietly, unless she decides to fight the allegations head on. 4, the media attention will intensify. Any move Cassie makes or doesn't make will be covered widely because the allegations are so serious and unexpected.
That is, I had no knowledge she was on her menstrual cycle because the room was completely dark. She manipulated the room. She manipulated the environment to get what she wanted, and then she totally got up like I was the one who should have been grateful. You're on your period. That's disgusting, and I deserved more respect than that.
Right now, the internet is divided. Some people believe Howard completely. They argue that Diddy's past behavior, the criminal charges, and the pattern of accusations make Howard's story believable. Others defend Cassie strongly. They say she was clearly under Diddy's control and may not have been acting with free will if any of the allegations were true. And a third group isn't sure what to believe. Many are waiting to see whether evidence emerges or how Cassie responds legally. But one thing is certain: people are talking, sharing, debating, and demanding clarity.
People, you may not want to believe it because Cassie's a beautiful girl and she was young when she started this, and many of you women who don't look like her look up to her, because women look up to beautiful women. But just because a woman is physically attractive, it doesn't mean she's a damn superhero, people. Cassie's not a superhero because she's physically attractive. Cassie's a human being. Cassie, like every other woman on this planet, is capable of deception and manipulation.
To summarize the key facts, yes, Cassie Ventura is currently being sued. The lawsuit is filed by Clayton Howard, who says he was a male escort for Cassie and Diddy. He accuses them of drugging, manipulation, and sex trafficking dating back to 2009. He alleges unprotected sex and STD, and Cassie allegedly aborting his child without telling him. A federal judge allowed the lawsuit to be served through email because Cassie couldn't be reached. Cassie has not responded publicly. The case is active, separate from her own 2023 lawsuit against Diddy. No criminal charges have been filed against Cassie. This is a developing story. What do you think about these allegations? Do you believe this case will be dismissed, or is there more to the story that hasn't come out yet? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear what you think. Make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next deep dive. This situation is unfolding fast, and we'll be covering every update as it happens.